Hey guys, it's Fusions here with Fusion ZX Gaming. Today we're checking out Banished. I went ahead and loaded up the map. This game was literally created, developed, made by one individual. He has done an awesome job. He has complete customizable UI. You put whatever tables you want. There's all kinds of different information screens. You put them however you would like them. So it's not all fixed to one location. Right now my settlers are doing pretty much nothing. But basically, this is a little town building game. I would say city, but there's no real tech tree or anything like that. But it's definitely a fun game. It's definitely brutal. You may be familiar with SimCity and all of those, SimTown even, way back in the day. This is way more complex. And literally, you can miss one thing and end up basically having to lose your entire town. Rotate the buildings around. I'm just lining them up so that they can go close to the road. I think 4 houses is enough to start off with our settlers. We'll go ahead and build the road here. I did tell them to go ahead and clear the resources off of around here. Get some trees and stuff, some logs. We do start with quite a few things. I get to tell everybody what kind of job to do. That's what the screen here. Right now I'm going to go ahead and tell them to build the houses. Notice all the little houses over their heads. They are currently homeless. They have nowhere to live. And homelessness is frowned upon. For what all I'm doing here, I have not played this in a little while, guys, so bear with me. Get some gatherers. Oh, that's hunting. Gatherers. I know they're in here somewhere. Gatherers. I told him to take out most of that for us, so we're going to bring the gatherer down here. Let's get it mostly inside. Not really seeing a good spot for it. Guess we're going to go roughly here with it. Gatherers will go out and gather wild edibles, mushrooms, roots, things like that. Food is a relatively hard thing to come by in this game. It is definitely possible to succeed with this game. I actually do have one town that's got about 200 people. I've been working on that forever. It has crashed a bunch of times. To show you guys what we've got here, it's early spring right now. We have 11 adults, no students, and 6 children. In order to have students, we would have to build a school. We've got our logs that are stored, our firewood that's stored, our food that's stored, all the different items that we can gather throughout the game, and you guys will get to see those as we go here. Right now, I'm mainly going to focus on food. Fishermen are good to have. Let's see if I can find somewhere big enough to put these guys. Some of the buildings are kind of finicky in place. That was all me, though. Fishing dock there. Bridge. Road as straight as possible. That'll make the bridge. Now I have to actually go in and put the road in too. It's a very pretty game. Not most up-to-date graphic style, but definitely a pretty game. I have no complaints of anything I've seen in it so far. Where's my dock going to be? The dock will be right here, so we'll just take that there for now. And they're not building anything, and the game is moving in really slow motion. And you have a speed setting here. Basically F1, or you can use numbers 1 through 4. Or no, actually it looks like 1 and 4. Correct myself there. But I'm going to go ahead and speed things up, get some of these houses built, hopefully, get some stuff going. I am going to do a few laborers to keep stocking up our wood. We're going to start using that pretty quickly now that we're on the higher speed. I'll build our first house there, and that'll give them some places to live. We may need one more house, I'm not positive. Notice we actually need more builders than we currently have. That is okay. Basically, we're going to let them get caught up, and as they build houses, that number will drop, so now we don't need as many builders. We have storage yards and barns and all kinds of stuff. I am going to actually put a storage over in this area. Just for the fish, make sure we got some food coming in. And as these buildings complete, not the houses will take care of themselves, but as the other buildings complete, the gatherer's hut and the fishing village, fishing dock, I guess is what they call it. As they build that, we'll assign some laborers to go work there and get us some fish. Looks like we're building a gatherer's hut now. That may not be in a great place, but we're going to try it. I also need to build a stone cutter. Not a stone cutter, that's later in the game. I need to buy a wood cutter. The wood cutter actually chops our logs into firewood. Without him, everybody will freeze to death during the winter. We don't have a lot of firewood already, so get that built as quickly as possible as well. Looks like we have 4 gatherers on our hut. I have 8 laborers, so I'm going to go ahead and assign 4 people to do that. I only need 2 builders now, so we're going to drop those and turn those into laborers. We'll make 1 woodcutter. We're actually going to up the limit of fuel that we can store just to make sure we do not run out during the winter. And you can see we've got some children being born, a couple children growing up into adults. Since we need no builders, but that means we should have our dock. We do. We'll go ahead and make some fishing docks. But I am very bad at hitting escape to get out of things in this game, guys. You'll have to bear with me on that. I will do that a ton. I know I will. Regretfully, that's my mistake. Let's see. So we still have some homeless people, so let's go ahead and build our house here. And your houses pretty much determine your population. You can actually click on each house. We can see that this is a fisherman, this is a gatherer, 2 children in that house. What's kind of cool, if you really want to, you can actually find your people. Click on follow, and it will follow that person around so you can kind of see what they're doing. I don't know what he's doing, doesn't look like much. But he's just a laborer, so close that, close this off. The storage barn here that you start with, I don't think there's any mode that you don't start with it. Is where we're going to store most of our food and dry goods. So we still have some room for that, so that's good. Getting a pretty good reserve of food. We're not doing too hot with our logs. We need more logs. I don't really want to clear cut a bunch of forest. Let's see, is it too early? Nah, it's not too early. Let's go ahead and make, if I can find it here. Other one. Forester Lodge. These guys will actually plant and manage the forest around them to make sure that it is able to be used consistently instead of just clear cutting an area like we've been doing. It's a little early in the game to be going for them, but I think it's a nice idea to go ahead and get it there. We have no empty jobs right now, so we've still got some laborers we can spare. We'll put those to work over the forester when it's built. Our food stockpile is going up. Our logs are not doing great, but not doing bad. Firewood is a separate number from logs. We do have stone. We do have some tools left. We will need a blacksmith at some point. We will also need a tailor at some point to make more coats. I do believe, yes, we do have some coats that it starts you with. That should get us through this first winter. We'll do the blacksmith, the tailor, and then we'll probably work on a school. Once we've got the school built, we'll have some students that'll be educated. Educated workers seem to do way better as far as how quickly they work on things. Much more efficient is the word I'm looking for. I guess we do have some laborers, and we are having some resource issues right now, so you guys can remove all of this mess, because we'll expand the town up that way. This area I'm going to try and leave kind of wooded. Same thing around here. The gatherer's hut actually works better in the woods, so we're definitely going to try and make sure we keep that there. Never really too early to have a blacksmith, I don't think. Nah, school's more important. Get some more efficient workers out of it that way. I will start packing my houses in a little more densely than this in a little bit. Not currently. It's going to make all of them into foresters. That way that they're, when it's built, which it is, I can tell them to either just cut or just plant. Or that'll do both. I would like them to do both right now. That way we can get that reserve of logs that we don't have left up a little bit, because we need those to build with, as well as, I'm actually going to turn the stone cutters, or he's not a stone cutter. I will get it right at some point, guys. I'm actually going to tell him to stop when he has 400 in reserve. That should be more than enough to get us started on the winter. We will have to get some farms to build. We'll probably build those up in here. That way we can have some farmers. We'll have to hire a teacher, which one of the builders will become a teacher, it looks like. But food-wise, we're doing good. We've got plenty of food into the first winter. And the herbalist, if we start having people notice the health here, health's not great, so I probably should get to an herbalist relatively soon. And actually, I am going to go ahead and build that now. Herbalist. And that'll actually work really well in next to the Forester's Lodge. I keep having to look. There's that escape button that we'll guys about. The Forester Lodge will help us with the Gatherer's Hut, or not the herbalist, because she wants to be in a wooded area as well, and they will keep the wood around this area. So we'll be good on that. The stone cutter has hit his log cutter. What do they actually call it? Wood cutter. He has hit his limit, so we are just letting him relax for a little bit, I guess. I do need 4 builders right now. I do not have 4, but I'm not going to take anybody off of any of the other jobs. Those are more important to me right now anyway, especially if we have enough logs. Notice our stockpile here is starting to dwindle down. We've got way less in it than we had originally. That's why we built the second one here. That way everybody can still stay busy. I guess I will take 1 fisherman and 1 gatherer and use them to get labor, because if we don't have the logs, we're never going to build the buildings. So we'll let them have the logs that way. This, I believe we can actually bump the limit up a little bit. It's got some built-in storage. And hopefully, guys, we'll get this into a relatively large town. We're going to try to at least. But for now, we're going to kind of sit small. We're going to kind of wait. We do have the game on fastest speed for you. Hopefully I don't miss something too major. It does not take much. One mistake and people starve and die and all kinds of fun stuff in this one. So, like I said, it's Sims, but brutal. And I've heard that comparison by some other people as well. So I have definitely agree that it is a very brutal game. It does not take much to collapse from a society of 40 or 50 people down to 1 person left. And then at that point, you're pretty much out of it anyway. So go ahead and make a teacher. Still going to leave 2 laborers. As soon as this next building is done, we'll pull the builders, hopefully put everybody back to work and just kind of let things mellow for a minute. We are getting into late summer now, so that food supply will start dwindling here very shortly when we get into winter. Winter can be quite brutal as well. I'd still like to go ahead and build a blacksmith, but we're going to have to wait on that. I still have some tools in reserve, so as long as we don't run out of tools in reserve, we're okay. And the rain effects, the snow effects, all 3D. None of it just looks like it's an overlay. So the guy that developed this, awesome job. Again, it's $20 on Steam. I've got many hours into it already, and I usually don't play games like this. But it sounded good at the time, so we'll play it. And actually, I've spent maybe 6 hours in-game prior to, so I'm probably not going to be able to say, oh, well, here's the perfect build or anything like that, guys. This is just kind of still experimenting, figuring out what we're doing. If we wanted to, we can have them remove just the rocks here. If we were low on stone, which we're really not, or low on iron, we can actually tell them what resources to collect. We've got iron, stone, trees, and if I tell them to gather the stone, just from this small area here, they'll pick up all the stone, they'll leave the iron, and they'll leave the trees. So that'll just clear out the stones for us here. We do still have 2 laborers, so that will be getting done. Use 1 more gatherer and 1 more fisherman. I'd like to keep at least 1 laborer, though. I actually like to keep 2 laborers in reserve in case things happen later in the game. If somebody gets old, whatever, passes away, gets hurt in a mining accident, and yes, all of these things can happen. I like to keep 2 because then it will automatically pull your laborers into jobs that were previously filled. But at times it's near impossible to actually accomplish that. So, what is this? This is a gatherer. We could probably put a hunting cabin down here. Well, we need more population. We're going to wait. We're going to be calm. We do have 1 student at the school right now. So that's a good start. That'll make us some more efficient adults as they get older. Got our gatherers, we're an herbalist. I could actually probably spare one herbalist for now. Our health has gone back up to where it should have been. Let's go ahead and put a hunter down here too. Where are we going to put a hunter? Really no point in putting it here. What about over here? Let's see if we can, because they like to be in the woods where the animals are and stuff as well. So let's see if we can't get away with putting this out over here, because this should stay for the most part forested. That should keep the animals near there. I don't plan to clear cut this. If we run out of room to build after we go this way and after we go up a little bit, we may have to make a bridge. The maps are huge. The map is huge. We're literally that little highlighted area. As you can see, the map goes on for quite a while. I can't imagine keeping a town balanced well enough that you could cover the entire map in it. It may be possible. I honestly don't know. But you get plenty of land to build on. There's a bunch of different options. You can make it easier than this, harder than this. I do think I turned disasters off. It's a pain when all of a sudden the half the town's population is gone because of one tornado. It does happen. I've had that happen before. That's why I'm playing disasters off currently. For now, we're just kind of letting our population build up. We don't really have enough workers to pass around or to fill all of our jobs. So we're kind of waiting on some of the kids to get into being adults. And another way to kind of spur your population is if we build a couple more houses. I am going to wait until we're done with the Hunter's Lodge down here. If I build a couple more houses, that will actually get the ones that are old enough. I believe 13 or 14, they start moving out. So Manine here could move into his own home if there was a home available. They will stay there and not have children of their own until they have their own houses. But we'll let them get this done, and then we'll throw 2 or 3 more houses here on Main Street. Actually, we may make a real dense subdivision type deal right here. Just because I don't really want to sprawl all the way across the map like I did, and once we start getting into farms and stuff, it's going to take lots and lots of space. People will work wherever jobs are available, but if they have to go too far in the winter, they will freeze to death on their way home. I do believe people will only eat at home. I don't think they'll stop somewhere random to get food if they're starving. They will starve instead if they cannot make it home if they work too far away. So you do have to kind of scatter houses in with everything. We made it through our first winter. We still have plenty of food and plenty of firewood. That's good. That's awesome. I have 2 builders left. I believe it takes 2 to build 1 house, so we're going to go ahead and put 1 more house in here and get some more children to be born. That way we can have a few more workers, because we do still need 1 more fisherman, we still need 3 hunters, and 1 more herbalist. But we currently do not have enough adults to fill those positions. So, but we are getting quite a few students. Looks like we have 4 students now, 3 children and 16 adults. That actually makes me want to say I want to go ahead and build another home here. Let's see if I can make these. I'm actually going to make more than 1, I lied. Put some more here. We may put a lot of strain on the resources by putting that many in at once. But we're going to try it. You know, if it fails, you all get to see it here first. You guys will know exactly what I did wrong, hopefully. If you do, let me know in the comments down below. And we did just burn through most of our logs to do that, so... But for now, we'll let them continue building. You can pause individual buildings to make sure they build the other ones faster. It brings your builder count down and things like that. I'm just going to let them all go at once. I'm not in a major rush to have them appear. And he has no wood left to cut. So we need to figure out something else for logs. We are not getting enough logs out of our forest lodge. So I don't know. Let's. Whoop, there's that escape button. And any more details. Can't get any more details than that. Let's hope we manage to have enough, or we may have to start clear cutting forest, which I was trying not to do. It is, well, no, we're getting into winter. We got firewood. We don't have any logs. Shouldn't be too bad, though. Once the houses are built, our logs should start building back up. I did just spam a bunch of houses in and not think about that, so that's my own fault. We may look into getting a well here soon, just because that helps put out fires. I have heard people say that they've burned down entire towns, which of course that's not a good thing. We'll actually put this. My blacksmith's going to go there. Let's go ahead and put the well right here on the side of the road. I say to stop using resources as I tell them to build more stuff. Makes sense, right, guys? The woodcutter still has no wood to use. The food reserve's getting kind of low. Come on, some of you kids need to grow up. I made you all these houses. And it's a really fine, balanced, delicate game. If you miss one thing for just a little bit, you can end up setting yourself all the way back to where you've completely destroyed your town. Hopefully none of you guys have to see that firsthand, but at the same point, it is very brutal. You have to pay attention to everything at all times. What else do we need here? Looks like we've got all our logs or stones. Okay, so we're good there. We're getting pretty low on tools and very low on coats. So a blacksmith and a tailor is going to have to be in our very near future as well. It says I need 4 builders. I don't know what the other 2 are building. But the builders are actually going to get turned into hunters here in just a second. What are they trying to build? I don't see what they're trying to build currently, guys. Nope, nothing now. Okay, you guys go become hunters before we all starve to death. And our food reserves were getting very low there for a minute. Hopefully we can get those back up a little bit. Especially, well, we did make it through winter. Okay, I didn't realize we had made it through winter, so that's a good thing. Forester's Lodge is doing what it's supposed to. The hunting cabin's doing what it's supposed to. Our health's still okay. Everybody's still relatively happy. What do we got going down here? The gatherers. You guys are probably finding all kinds of stuff. And I can click and go through the different gatherers. Don't know where they're going or why, but... Stop. Nope. We'll have to slow the game speed down. There we go. Reserve food is still low, but none of the children have become adults yet. Hey, we've got a laborer. We're now a fisherman, my friend. Get that food up a little more. I may need to turn this lemon down a little more. I think that's why we're having so much trouble getting logs. Our woodcutter's cutting everything we're getting as soon as we're getting it into firewood. And it seems like we didn't really get low on firewood last winter, so it should be okay. We're starting to get a few more adults. I don't think any of the houses are empty. Everybody, for the most part, has their own house. That house is beautiful. There's a few kids in there, so those will be looking for homes of their own here soon. I am not actually going to build any more homes currently. We're hitting borderline on a lot of our resources. If I make more homes now, the population's going to boom. We're going to have more kids. We're just going to take more food when they're not out actually producing any food. And I don't have enough people to build. I was debating on making a farm, but if I don't have any farmers to tend to the farm, there's no point in having it. So, apologize if it gets a little boring here at spots. But if you build too fast, it just collapses on itself. If you build too slow, you have a little bit of leeway in it. And I'd rather be safe than sorry. I want to see this town get to a nice high population for you guys. I don't know how many episodes we're going to do of this, but I am going to run through at least a few episodes now, which you guys will see in the next few days or so. I'm also going to start focusing way more on the YouTube channel for you guys. We're going to have to start getting out updates, at least a game per day of some sort. I don't know if it'll be me or Twisted that's doing them, but you guys will be seeing a lot more on YouTube, a lot more frequent, probably a little bit longer episodes, and we'll kind of get a whole bunch made for you guys and start getting them up a couple a day at least if I can. Right now for this next week, I'm probably going to be doing way more than a couple a day, depending on work schedule. But currently, we're going to focus 100% on YouTube, bust out as many videos as we can, but keep the quality as high as we can. As you guys all know, we're new, we're learning. Let me know in the comments what I can do to make it better. Let me know what you guys want to see. If there's any games you guys want to see us do, we can do the face cams. We don't have to. Like I said, this game's kind of slow and long-winded to face cam. I didn't really feel appropriate for this type of game. But if you guys want it back, if that's not okay, let me know. We will change it. We'll put it back on there. But at least these Banished episodes I'm recording today will not have the face cam in them. I end up so focused on all the different aspects that I have to watch in here. Really getting desperate on needing a blacksmith. We're running out of tools quite badly, but I have no builders or anything else. We're going to have to figure out a way to make it. I don't want a woodcutter. You'd almost think I knew how big that building was. Then we'll leave that to go up to our farms to get them. I don't want to pull anybody off food. We're not really doing very hot on reserve food. We're not doing very hot on reserve logs. I may let them clear cut some of this here in a minute. May not have a choice. I didn't build anything down here, so yeah, anybody that's got time and not doing anything, go ahead and clear this whole little peninsula of resources. Two builders first, and then you guys can go back to laborers once we have the blacksmith set up and running. Basically, we want the blacksmith up and running as soon as possible, because if we do not have tools, everything gets done slower. Looks like we have another laborer was just born. Let's go ahead and put them on food, since that's another area we're struggling with. So now the kids are starting to grow up and become productive members of our society. So now we should start to catch up and get past this little bubble we had and be able to start actually getting some things accomplished. Okay, one of you can go back to being a laborer, the other is going to go be the blacksmith. And we're fully staffed everywhere but the herbalist. The herbalist is kind of like primitive early medicine. We really don't have much need for that right now. Our health is pretty good. But we will keep an eye on that. If we start to get to where we need that, we can get that up there. And we're going to let them finish clear cutting this to build up our reserves again. Our food is gone. Our tools are pretty much gone. I can tell the blacksmith what type of tool to make. I do not have coal. I do not have a pine. So I cannot make steel tools, but iron tools will work for us just fine for now. Farms and stuff actually have a yield system where they basically will tell you how much percentage-wise you're getting out of that particular crop. We're going to investigate that here in the next episode. Right now it looks like our blacksmith's catching us up on tools. We're going to build a farm right up in here somewhere, grow some kind of crop. But for this one, guys, this has been Fusions with Fusion ZX Gaming. Give us a subscribe, like if you liked the video. If not, let us know why you didn't. Let me know so I can correct it. But for that one, guys, we will see you in the next video.